And that's professor to you.
Welcome back everyone. In this video, we're going to investigate some frame pacing issues I've been encountering in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. We're going to find out what and why it's happening and how it can be fixed. The goal being to raise awareness about it so it can be addressed officially. I came across these frame pacing issues during the early access period on the Steam version of the game, which was given to me by Nvidia for purpose of review. What made it quite interesting, however, was the fact that the Game Pass version of the game ran pretty smooth, as you can see on the screen. Now for this video, we'll be using my RTX 4090 GPU with a Ryzen 7800X3D. The footage has been captured at 3440 by 1440 ultra wide, which is how I normally game, but the video itself will be in a 4K format. Now, all the settings have been maxed out, including full ray tracing, with DLSS set to quality and frame generation off. I hope that the takeaway isn't that the Game Pass version of the game is superior to that of Steam, because that's not what's happening here at all. So please bear with me as I explain what's going on and my overall investigation into this, because things have actually changed. I've been digging into this for the past 5 days or so, and I haven't had a lot of time this week. I've been quite busy, but at first I thought that maybe there was something going on with my Windows, so I took out all my NVMEs out of my system, and I ended up putting in a fresh copy of Windows that I keep around available to me. And I just installed Indiana Jones and tried it on that. And it was pretty much the same exact thing on the Rome level. Now, the jungle level and the college, for the most part, it's pretty good. This doesn't happen. And even though you might not be able to tell through YouTube because it's a 60 FPS recording of variable frame rate, when the frame time is like this, it doesn't feel smooth. It doesn't look smooth. It looks like it's running at like 30 or 40 FPS, even though it's not. It's running at much higher FPS because the frame pacing is so inconsistent. It doesn't look smooth at all, which is unfortunate. So I thought to myself that, well, maybe they're going to patch the Steam version. Maybe something's happened, and I'll just play the Game Pass version until a few days ago, the Game Pass version started exhibiting the same frame pacing issues. And this is when I started to put two and two together. Thanks to Sebastian Castellanos, he's a subscriber of mine here on YouTube, and we follow each other on Twitter. He's usually always on top of what's going on in the industry and different games, and he sent a private post my way that apparently with the latest driver 566.36 Nvidia driver, their profile team had added optimizations for the Steam version of the game and not the Game Pass version of the game with the latest 566.36 driver. Attempts were made to let the driver team know of this, and Sebastian sent me another post saying that he took a look at the game again, and I guess now the Game Pass version of the game was also added to the optimization profile. Okay then, so could the culprit be this optimization profile that's causing both Game Pass and Steam versions now to have the same frame pacing issues? Well, that's kind of my thinking here. So then, if we roll back to an older driver, it should theoretically work, right? So this is footage I captured today of the Game Pass version of the game on the latest driver, 566.36. And you can clearly see that we're having frame pacing issues, which makes the game not look smooth at all. Well, let's take a look at the Steam version, then we'll roll back the driver. And here's the Steam version. You can see we're having frame pacing issues, and on the latest driver, if you look at the top right corner. All right then, let's try an older driver and see what happens. All right, so let's start with the Steam version first, since that was the one I had the most issues with, and I ended up uninstalling the drivers with DDU, and I installed 566.14, which you can see the driver version on the top right corner. And as you can see, guys, the frame time graph is buttery smooth. And most importantly, when you move the camera now, it actually looks like you're getting 80 to 90 FPS. So rolling back the driver seems to be the culprit, or maybe a profile for the game in the driver, which I believe is what's happening here, because we were actually running the game very smoothly on the Game Pass version before something changed on the latest driver. But regardless, it seems to be the culprit either way. Let's take a look at the Game Pass version as well while we're at it on this same 566.14 version. And here we go, guys. This is the Game Pass version on 566.14, so the previous driver, and as you can see, it too is now buttery smooth. So the performance is consistent and it looks great as well. So yeah, guys, it seems to be the driver. So I hope that this video can raise a bit of awareness, because I'm sure that they can make a couple of tweaks and put it back to the way it was. Because, I mean, I'm just going to be honest that those frame pacing issues were quite immersion breaking for me. And that's why I devoted so much time to try and look into this and shed some light into what could possibly be going on. Again, I could be wrong, but this is the conclusions that I've come to. You guys leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Well, what else can I do if I don't want to roll back my driver, you might say? Well, things you can do to try to fix this or cope with it if it's bothering you is you could try enabling frame generation. So enabling DLSS frame generation will actually make the game visually look smoother. It's not going to look choppy like it did, but it still doesn't feel right. I'm not sure that I would personally play the game like this. I think I would probably just roll back the drivers for now, and then hopefully, the team at Nvidia can update the profile or whatever it is that's causing these frame pacing issues. I mean, this is a first. When Nvidia releases a driver update or a profile update, the games always run better, at least from my experience. So this is kind of an unusual thing to witness, but it is what it is, and it's worth talking about because it does affect the performance and the overall enjoyment, at least for me. And that's what I try to do with these videos, is share things, talk about things, raise awareness for things, because, we love the hobby and we enjoy the medium. And another thing you could do, though, if you don't like to use frame generation, is you can use a frame rate cap. And there's different ways to do this. You can use Revitur Statistic Server or do it through the Nvidia driver, but the game itself has an FPS limit option in its graphics menu, and it actually works pretty well. If you set a 60 FPS cap, which is what I tried, the frame pacing issues are pretty much gone, and the game feels and looks much smoother with a 60 FPS lock than having it unlock and get 90 FPS, but you have frame pacing issues. So yeah. Okay then, so I guess to wrap up this video, immediately I knew that there was something going on, because Game Pass version was smooth and the Steam version had frame pacing issues. And then the Game Pass version started having frame pacing issues as well. So through the investigation, and thanks to Sebastian Castellanos on Twitter for keeping me up to date with what's going on and what people are experiencing, we were able to come to a conclusion that it could be something that's driver related. And as you can see, clearly it seems to be, because rolling back, the game runs perfectly smooth. This is a pretty unusual thing, because normally game ready drivers make the games run better, but you never know. Things sometimes get rushed, things fly under the radar, but the main point is to see change, and hopefully it gets addressed, because frame pacing issues just can break the immersion for many people, and many people might not even be aware why the game is run a bit choppy, even though the frame rate looks good, right? But the game isn't running optimally. So I hope that you found this video helpful in some way. If you did, please give the video a like, and please leave a comment down below, share your thoughts, let me know if you have any suggestions or whatever it might be. I'd love to hear it. And if there is an update that does address this, I might make a post on Twitter, or maybe do a YouTube short or something like that. I'm not sure that it deserves a full video, but it does deserve recognition at the very least. So yeah, that's going to be it for me, guys. Leave a comment down below. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.